Why being too nice is draining your energy? Have you ever come to a realization about how genuinely good you are to the people around you, everyone you meet, and yet somehow you feel completely drained at the same time? If you are a good person who is tired of feeling empty while keeping everyone else full, this video is for you. Since we were kids, we have been told to always be nice, isn't it? Manners, discipline, keeping the peace. It is coded so deeply into our brains and our consciousness that many of us fail to spot this pattern even in our adulthood. I'm not saying we should stop being kind, but there is a sharp limit to being nice. So, today we are going to look at why overgiving is draining your life energy and how to reclaim that power. Welcome back to Earth Dragon Speaks. I am so happy to be back with another episode. And if you are new to this sanctuary, please hit subscribe to walk this path of self protection with us. I feel that how we were raised while growing up has everything to do with how we tend to overgive as adults. Think about it. If you grew up with parents or guardians who were angry, aggressive, or unpredictable, imagine how much you had to cope just to be nice. You learned to walk on eggshells to make sure you didn't upset anyone because upsetting them meant you were in trouble. Even though you are an adult now, you still possess this behavior unknowingly. That is simply what the brain does. It is a muscle memory, it is a survival program that you accepted and coded into your emotional DNA over a long duration of time. On the other side, maybe you were brought up in a close to perfect environment. You spend all your time around a safe home and a comfortable space. But that comfort did not allow you to experience anything outside your usual environment. The moment we grow up and step out into school, college, or the workforce, we meet people who do not share our safe history. They will never understand where you come from until and unless you're quite lucky to find that one nice person. So, being too nice can also develop later in life as a defense mechanism when we try to blend into spaces that don't feel entirely safe. Why does this behavior stay with us? Because time passes, and if we keep meeting the same experiences and the same type of people, it never stops. It compounds from our teenage years right into our adulthood unless we actively identify it and correct it when needed. If you do this constantly for years, just imagine with everyone you meet, you adapt to that draining environment. And at some point, you become so familiar with it that you actually start to feel comfortable being uncomfortable. You carry that constant draining friction inside you. You go on until one fine day you hit your absolute saturation point. Maybe you realize it on your own. Maybe a painful situation triggers you to understand it. Or maybe you happen to come across a video like this and the lights finally turn on in your mind. Once you reach that awareness, everything changes. There are literally hundreds of reasons why being too nice drains your energy. But as you look at your own life today, ask yourself if you fall into one of these core realities, which I will be telling you about. Number one is lacking awareness. You simply haven't stopped where you needed to because you lack an understanding of the root problem. And I think, as a person who has experienced this as well, I would like to say that sometimes it is impossible to have such awareness. And if you think about it, when you are like at your young age, especially as you are growing up in your 20s or in your late 20s. You are still experiencing things for the first time, and you may not know since I mean, what I feel is sometimes what we are, right, we think that the other people will also be the same, but that usually never happens. uh, so that is the kind of awareness I'm talking about. You may not know about it until and unless you come across things that will expand your awareness. Number two is zero inner reflection. So either you spend too much time isolated without fresh experiences, or you are constantly around people without giving yourself the quiet time to process your thoughts. So we need to balance this. Fresh experiences are something that can help us with our ever evolving soul experience. And say if you don't give yourself time and you are constantly out with everybody around you, so you don't get the time to think what exactly is good for you. So you're mostly getting carried away by things that other people have to say. So it's very important that you balance this. I can understand that it can be really overwhelming for people who are always nice to someone else, and this could actually make you feel the need to isolate yourself. But isolate yourself to a point where you come back to it quickly. Like you resolve this within yourself, and then you come out. And then once you start understanding this, you will be able to understand who are the right people that you need to give time to. Third is the fear of loss. So you overgive because you secretly fear losing the connection, losing the person, or missing out an opportunity. So this probably I can just give an example, say for the first time. So it's really important when you are meeting someone for the first time. Let's take an example. You're stepping out of school for the first time and you've just joined your college, and you met this person, and for the first time everybody will be nice, right? Like nobody gives nobody shows their real true character in the beginning. So you tend to get attached to this person and you feel safe around them. And that first instance when you have, I mean, when that person have given a good impression to you, and you've also, like, you've learned to trust that person immediately by just understanding, okay, these people, this is safe. That's when, that's how it starts. So from there, everything, small, small things every day, it starts building up into a very close connection, until one day, even if that person shows you their true character, right? You still feel like, you still feel the need that, okay, that person understands me by now, they know everything about me. And you start to feel like, you may miss out on this opportunity of being close friend, and most importantly, you will be feeling bad to lose this connection. Number four is the change illusion. So you mistakenly think you can change someone else's character simply by being nice to them forever. Unfortunately, that is not how human nature works. I say this, let's say, from a perspective, like maybe it's between parents and children, or maybe it's between a lover as well. So say, let's just take one example. I am just thinking about it right now. So say, let's say it's a lover. You both love each other, and one of you, changes, and obviously it will not be you. Say the other person changes their feelings, changes their behavior, something changed them in life, and you don't know anything about it. And the behavior towards you and everything else changes. So you're stuck. you're stuck in that, and then you try to be very nice even if they are not behaving really good towards you. You still try to put up your best foot forward, and every day you try to manage situations which probably you should have reconsidered, after third or fourth time seeing this change. But unfortunately, we don't sometimes, because we are really nice and we just don't want to leave someone astray. And we think that probably my love will change that person, or by being good to them, they may come to their senses and realize that, after all, you are always there around them. But that does not work, unfortunately. It doesn't. Number five is hidden manipulation. So let's say you have become so comfortable with this dynamic that you have unconsciously learned to use this nice behavior to try and manage or manipulate how others see you. So this is actually something that scares me as well, because as a human being, right, we can tend to fall into these type of situations if we don't handle them at the right time, or we are not consciously aware that we are not actually doing something good. Whatever we have been trying to adjust in life, or we have been trying to go on with life the same way, is actually indirectly affecting you. And maybe you just got so used and accustomed to it that you don't have a problem. You've now found a way to just manipulate, and this still drains you. It doesn't mean that it does not, but you've just found some loopholes in while you are managing your emotions around others. So you have to be very watchful in terms of this particular behavior. Maybe once you spot this within yourself, it's really high time that you should do something about it. Because this I think, I'm not talking from my own experience. I'm just going to that level of understanding. I'm just trying to keep myself in someone else's shoes. What if this particular situation happens? How long can they take, or what exactly may happen? So that's how my it's just how the way I think. So maybe you have to really watch out for this one. So you have to see if there's any hidden manipulation, and this has to be taken care very seriously. Number six is toxic spaces. The environment you keep attracting is inherently toxic, and the circle of people around you are simply not right for your growth. So, this will drain your energy if you don't realize it quickly. You might keep falling into spaces that are completely toxic without even knowing it. So, when I think of a toxic place, like a perfect example is a corporate office. This can be one of the most highly toxic environments out there. In corporate worlds, negativity tends to spread incredibly fast. And if you are a naturally nice person who loves to listen, you will easily find yourself in very sticky situations. I know this firsthand. I've worked in corporate offices myself, and it was deeply tough for me as a listener. I remember times when I couldn't even draw a boundary, and it drained an immense amount of my life energy. Now, toxic spaces don't only mean corporate offices. That is just one example. But we need to be incredibly mindful of whatever space we are occupying. Number seven is unlearned lessons. You are repeating a painful cycle because you still need to learn the core lesson of what is truly right for your soul. Let me show you what I mean by an unlearned lesson. Have you ever finally walked away from a draining relationship, a toxic friend, or a bad job, only to look up a few months later and find yourself dealing with someone new who treats you the exact same way. It's a different person, a different name, a different face, but the dynamic is identical. This happens because life has a way of repeating a test until you pass it. If your soul's lesson is to learn self respect, life will keep sending you people who take you for granted. It will keep happening until you finally choose to break the pattern, stand your ground, and realize that you are allowed to walk away. The lesson stops repeating the moment you change how you value yourself. Somewhere it starts with us. You may have noticed this pattern, but you choose to continue it because it's what you know. You feel stuck, helpless, and like you have no one to talk to. But let me remind you, you have the power to understand your environment more than anyone else in this world. I always tell those who look up to me, look at this as an urgent warning before you destroy your once in a lifetime opportunity to be at peace, both mentally and physically. These are deeply individual experiences, and while I speak from my own perspectives, I know things can feel heavy. If you are drained from being too nice, it is time to take a call. Make changes without the fear of being judged. You should never judge yourself for doing what keeps your mind and your heart in the right place. If you felt this video spoke directly to your current situation, do let me know your thoughts in the comments section and which of the seven pillars resonated with you the most. So, I, of course, will not be able to mention each and everything, and I've mentioned only seven pillars. But I'm very sure there's many of them which you have also applied in your daily life. So maybe you can share that with us so that we can all learn from you. See you in the next video right here at Earth Dragon Speaks. My name is Ven. Until then, please take care of your beautiful heart.